Here we go from the Post-Millennial. Revealed Biden's FBI authorized use of deadly force when necessary during a Mar-a-Lago raid. Law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. It's a direct quote from the documents. I'll back it up. We got Newsweek. FBI was prepared to use deadly force at Mar-a-Lago raid. The reason why these two headlines are important, and they are different, is that not only did they authorize the FBI to use lethal force, but they showed up with the weapons ready and capable to do so. And now we'll add one more on top. In this filing, this document released by Julie Kelly, we can see in the document it says, law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. The agents planned to bring standard issue weapons, ammo, handcuffs, and medium and large size bolt cutters, but they were instructed to wear unmarked polo or collared shirts and to keep law enforcement equipment concealed. I'm going to tell you my opinions right away. There is no competent human who does this without the expectation this could lead to death, to an active shootout between the Secret Service and unmarked law enforcement agents. We all remember the story of what was that woman's name? We all remember the story. I can't remember her name. They claimed that she was sleeping in her bed and she was shot by the cops.
Breonna Taylor.
Taylor, there you go. I knew it was Breonna, but I'm like, which Breonna was it? And now they say that the police, didn't announce themselves or whatever. They say they did, regardless of the fact of that case. I believe, we've actually interviewed one of the cops involved, and they did announce themselves. They knocked, and then, the guy shot at them. I'm only bringing the story up because the left's perspective on it was that she was sleeping in her bed, and these cops didn't announce themselves and opened fire on her. That means it is well established in the psyche of your liberals, of your Democrats, that police officers who show up to enforce the law but are not wearing identifiable outfits create the perception of a burglary or a robbery or an assault attack. This had the potential, the high potential, in my opinion, to result in Trump's security guards. I was just at Mar-a-Lago, I'll tell you, and Secret Service.
Yeah.
Not being aware of what was going on and seeing a dude in plain clothes with a gun rushing onto the property. You might be thinking like, hey, who's this guy? And the guy, we're lucky it did not escalate to this.
Yeah.
Many people on social media are already saying this was an assassination attempt. Could you imagine if what could have happened if this went the way of one of these stories we hear in the press where, cops who don't identify themselves end up getting into shootouts? I almost think that either these people are as stupid can be, or they were crossing their fingers that they would get a news report of Trump security opens fire on FBI.
Do they think that Donald Trump is like Scarface? Because that the only people that are going to be actually engaging with them, if there were to be a gunfight, it would be Secret Service. It would be FBI versus Secret. Because Donald Trump ain't going to be there with a machine gun, like come and get me, So the idea that it was I don't understand why the Department of Justice would say we're allowing you to get into a gunfight. We're saying it's acceptable for you to get into a gunfight with the Secret Service because, again, it's not Donald Trump.
They could just call the Secret Service and say, we're going to have some two FBI agents going to come down and we're going to do a sweep. And they would have been like, you got it.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
And one other thing. Shout out Julie Kelly.
Oh, absolutely.
Amazing work by her.
Her work has been invaluable on everything, whether it was 2020 election related or it was the Trump trials related. I mean, she's been on fire with this stuff. And we were talking a little bit about it before the show. Who do you think is there? Oh, it's the Secret Service, right? We had heard reports in the past that Secret Service had coordinated with Trump and with the DOJ and with the archives about this documents problem. Now we need to know exactly what the Secret Service knew, because if the Secret Service didn't know anything,
I think these documents prove they didn't, because there's a line in one of them, if I'm remembering correctly, where it says, if the U.S. Secret Service resists, here's how to proceed. They talk about the possibility that the Secret Service are not working with them. Now, maybe that's to account for a potential agent who's like, hey, I don't believe in this. But really, it seems like they were operating completely independently than this other government agency. And the only reason they would do that is to have the element of surprise. Now, again, what are we expecting? Donald Trump to be there, armed and dangerous, ready to defend his territory. That doesn't seem like it, however cool that visual might be to some people. The reality is they treated him like a hostile mob member because that's how they perceive him.
Yeah.
They believe that he is incredibly dangerous and that he is, capable of harming people in a crazy way, when in fact they are setting up a situation that could become incredibly dangerous quickly. And like Tim is saying, this is a narrative that everyone on the left repeats all the time. If you have a plainclothes officer who doesn't identify themselves, they actually, theoretically, in the minds of the left, create the dangerous situation. Now, why would you send all of these people in unmarked polos? What are we trying to accomplish here?